Have you ever asked yourself why you feel so drained after spending time thinking about other people, what they're doing, what they're saying, or how they might be judging you? It's not just tiring, it's toxic. Most people don't realize that one of the biggest reasons they feel stuck, overwhelmed, and constantly second-guessing themselves is because they've made other people the center of their focus. Their energy goes outwards, their peace slips away, and they're left wondering why they don't feel in control of their own lives. If that's you, then understand this. The more you focus on others, the less power you hold over yourself. In a world that thrives on noise, silence has become rare, and rare things hold value. You're constantly being pulled in every direction. Opinions on social media, comments from people who don't even know your story, comparisons to lives that aren't even real. And the more you try to keep up, the more you lose yourself. But here's the truth that most people never tell you. Your peace, your purpose, and your progress are none of their business. The second you stop letting others dictate how you feel, how you move, and how you see yourself, everything begins to change. You weren't born to chase approval. You were born to build something that doesn't need to be explained. Right now, your mind is likely carrying things it was never meant to hold. Thoughts about who said what, anxiety about how you're being perceived, jealousy creeping in when you scroll through someone else's highlight reel. All of this noise is costing you. It's stealing your focus, your creativity, your energy. But you don't have to keep paying that price. You can choose to disconnect from the chaos and reconnect with yourself. You can choose silence, not as a sign of weakness, but as a symbol of strength. Because silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. Imagine waking up and not needing to prove anything to anyone. Imagine no longer needing to respond to the noise, the opinions, the subtle jabs. Imagine focusing so deeply on your own growth that you become unshakable. That kind of power comes from discipline. And that discipline begins with one simple shift. Take your focus off of them and place it back on you. The person who wins is the one who stops looking around and starts looking within. Stay with this message, because by the end, you'll have a deeper understanding of how silence can become your greatest weapon and how focusing on yourself can unlock the kind of life you were always meant to live. You're not here to impress, you're here to rise. And you don't need noise to be noticed. The quietest ones often make the loudest impact. So ask yourself right now, are you ready to stop chasing their world and start building your own? Because once you make that decision, everything begins to shift. The noise fades, the clarity rises, and finally you begin to move like someone who truly knows their worth. The strongest people in the world don't waste their words. They don't explain, defend, or react to every whisper that floats their way. They stay grounded, they stay quiet, because they understand that silence is not the absence of strength, it's the presence of control. When you hold your tongue, you hold your power. When you stop reacting, you start leading. And when you stop announcing your every move, you begin to move in ways no one can predict or prepare for. That's where real growth happens, in the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply intentional. You don't need to prove your worth with noise. You prove it with consistency. Every time you choose discipline over drama, every time you choose stillness over seeking validation, every time you walk away from chaos without explaining yourself, you grow, not just in habits, but in presence. People begin to feel your shift without you saying a word. That's the quiet rise of someone who no longer lives for approval, but for alignment. And that's where your real power is, staying so locked in on your own evolution that outside voices start to fade, because they will fade. The world only tries to distract what it sees as valuable, and if it's trying to distract you, it means you're holding something worth protecting. You've been told that if you're not loud, you're not noticed. But being noticed isn't the goal. Being remembered is. And the people who are remembered are the ones who move with purpose, not noise. You don't have to announce your healing. You don't have to broadcast your plans. You don't have to defend your decisions. All you need to do is stay in your lane, sharpen your focus, and let the results do the talking. That's how power is built, brick by brick, in silence, away from the crowd. When you protect your peace, you protect your future. Because chaos is a thief, it robs you of time, clarity, and direction. But silence gives it all back. It gives you space to think, to create, to breathe. It gives you a foundation to stand on that no opinion can shake. And it gives you the upper hand, not by control over others, but by mastery over yourself. That's the real victory. Not controlling the noise, but choosing not to need it. So make a decision, right now, to stop giving away pieces of yourself just to be seen. Stop explaining your silence. Stop apologizing for your focus. Start building in quiet. Start rising in private. Let them wonder. Let them question. You owe them nothing, but you owe yourself everything. The discipline, the patience, the commitment. It all begins with silence, because when you finally stop speaking just to be heard, and you start listening to the voice within, you'll realize that's the only voice that ever mattered. Keep going, or stay quiet. Your time is coming, and this time, you won't need to announce it, they'll feel it. Every time you choose silence, you create space for clarity. You stop reacting and start observing. You stop chasing and start building. This shift isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't look dramatic from the outside, but inside, it's a revolution. Your mind begins to clear, your energy returns, your focus sharpens, and slowly the world around you loses its grip. Because when you are no longer pulled by the noise, you begin to rise in a way most people will never understand. That's not arrogance, it's awareness. It's knowing that peace isn't found in being heard by everyone. It's found in being true to yourself. You don't need a crowd to feel complete. You don't need constant attention to know you matter. Those who grow the most are often the ones who learn to grow alone. They stop explaining. They stop performing. They stop adjusting who they are just to fit into spaces that were never meant for them. And in that silence, they find something priceless, self-respect. The kind that can't be bought or borrowed. The kind that comes from keeping your word to yourself, from standing tall without needing validation, from being whole in your own company. This is how power builds quietly. When you stop reacting to every trigger. When you stop engaging with everything that tries to provoke you. When you realize that your time, your energy, and your attention are currency, and you begin spending them wisely. Most people waste their lives trying to be everywhere for everyone, and in the process they lose themselves, but not you, not anymore. You're learning that silence isn't just protection, it's elevation. You're no longer wasting breath explaining your intentions to people committed to misunderstanding you. You're no longer shrinking to make others feel comfortable. You're stepping into the version of yourself that doesn't need to be liked, just aligned. And that shift changes everything. Your priorities get clearer. Your boundaries get stronger. Your vision becomes sharper. People may call it distance, but it's not distance, it's direction. You're not pushing people away. You're pulling yourself forward, forward into peace, forward into discipline, forward into purpose. And the best part is, you don't need to announce any of it, because true growth doesn't need recognition. It just needs action. Quiet, steady, disciplined action. So if you're feeling unseen, don't chase visibility. Chase clarity, chase integrity. Chase alignment with who you're meant to become. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them doubt. It doesn't matter. Because while they're busy watching, you're busy building. And the results will speak for you in ways your words never could. Your silence is not weakness. It's the sound of someone rising without permission. Someone who no longer reacts, only responds. Someone who no longer pleads, only progresses. You're becoming that person now. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay silent. The noise will pass. But what you're building in silence, that will last. The more you grow, the less you speak. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you no longer feel the need to say it. You realize that energy is precious, and not every thought deserves to be voiced. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. Not every situation deserves your presence. Silence becomes your filter. It keeps the unworthy out and your power in. You begin to understand that peace is not something you find, it's something you protect. And the more you protect it, the more unstoppable you become. Most people lose themselves trying to be everything to everyone. They say yes when they want to say no. They explain when they should just observe. They respond when they should walk away. But you're not here to be everything. You're here to become something real. That means not getting involved in every argument. That means not explaining your journey to those who haven't walked your path. That means choosing growth over approval every single time. Because real growth requires silence. It requires stillness. It requires the kind of focus that can't survive in a room full of distractions. When you silence the outside world, you can finally hear the truth inside you. And that truth isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers, but it's clear, it's direct. It tells you what to keep, what to let go, and where you're meant to go next. The more you listen, the stronger it becomes. That voice inside, that's your compass. but it only speaks when the noise stops. That's why silence isn't just a pause. It's a tool, a strategy, a way to tap into your highest intelligence. The most successful people aren't the loudest, they're the most self-aware. They don't talk just to be heard, they speak with purpose, or not at all. This is where transformation begins. When you step out of the chaos and into clarity. When you stop performing and start aligning. When you stop proving and start moving. Quietly, deliberately, powerfully. You're no longer interested in impressing others. You're interested in becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to. That shift is rare. That shift is powerful. And that shift is where your future begins. The silence you choose today will become the strength you walk with tomorrow. It will become the calm in your storm, the fire in your discipline, the depth in your character. And the more you commit to it, the more unshakable you become. People won't understand it. They'll misread your silence as weakness, your distance as arrogance, your boundaries as rejection. Let them. You're not here to be understood. You're here to evolve, to rise, to build, to thrive. And that journey requires solitude. Not isolation, but intentional distance. Enough space to hear your own thoughts, follow your own instincts, and build your own legacy. Keep going, keep quiet. Every silent step you take is leading you to a version of yourself that noise could never build. When you stop giving everyone access to you, everything changes. Your energy returns, your thoughts clear, your confidence grows. You begin to see how much you gave away just to feel included, how much of your worth was tied to being accepted, and how many distractions disguise themselves as obligations. Silence gives you a mirror, not the kind that reflects your image, but the kind that reflects your patterns. You see where you've been spreading yourself thin. You see who drains you. You see who respects your boundaries and who only stays when they benefit from your lack of them. And that awareness is priceless, because you can't fix what you don't see. Focus is not about discipline alone. It's about subtraction. Removing what's not serving you, declining what isn't aligned with you, detaching from what no longer grows you. You don't need more time, you need fewer distractions. You don't need more motivation, you need more boundaries. And that begins when you stop being accessible to everyone and start being available to yourself. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you say no to your future. Every time you respond out of guilt, fear, or habit, you dilute your power. But every time you pause, every time you stay silent instead of defending, explaining, or proving, you get stronger. Not everything needs your reaction. Not everyone deserves your explanation. Some things are better left unspoken, because silence says what words can't. It shows maturity. It shows restraint. It shows you are no longer triggered by noise, because your peace is no longer for sale. And that is when you become truly dangerous. Not to others, but to every excuse, every limitation, and every old version of yourself that kept you stuck. You are not who you used to be. You are not here to repeat cycles. You are not here to stay small just because it's familiar. You're here to step into the fullness of your potential. That requires silence. That requires space. That requires protecting your focus with everything you've got. Because distractions are subtle. They come dressed as opportunities, relationships, conversations. But if it pulls you away from your purpose, it is a cost, not a connection. And when you begin to protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does, you begin to rise in a way that no one can block. Your silence becomes strategy. Your discipline becomes your language. Your absence from chaos becomes your power move. You're no longer wasting energy reacting to the world. You're building one. Quietly, intentionally, powerfully. And while others chase attention, you're chasing alignment. You're walking away from noise and walking into clarity. Let them wonder where you went. Let them question your silence. Let them talk. You're not here to be available. You're here to be valuable. Keep building in silence. Keep choosing yourself. That choice is the beginning of everything you've been waiting for. You don't need to explain why you've gone quiet. Growth doesn't come with a public service announcement. Real transformation is silent. It's unseen. It's personal. It happens in the small, disciplined choices you make when no one is watching. When you stop showing up for everything and everyone, people might misunderstand you. Let them. Their confusion isn't your responsibility. Your evolution isn't for validation. It's for alignment. The more you invest in yourself, the more you outgrow the need to be understood. You begin to see that peace isn't passive. It's power under control. It's the quiet strength that doesn't need to defend or justify. It just is. There's a moment in every person's life when they realize that being everything to everyone has left them with nothing for themselves. You've given pieces of yourself away for so long it feels unnatural to finally hold on to your energy. But that discomfort is not a signal to stop. It's a sign you're breaking the cycle. Every time you protect your time, your space, your priorities, you're reclaiming your life. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, some people will leave. Yes, silence will feel unfamiliar. But that's not a loss, it's a clearing. You can't receive what's meant for you while holding on to what drains you. Release it. Let the silence stretch. Let the space grow. That space is not empty. It's where the real you begins to breathe. Discipline isn't just about doing more. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter. It's about cutting through the noise and choosing what aligns, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Silence forces you to sit with yourself, to listen to what's been buried beneath the expectations, the opinions, the distractions. And what you hear might not be easy, but it will be real. And that truth will shape your next level. Not the loud declarations, not the constant activity, but the quiet decisions, the internal shifts, the mental boundaries that say, I will no longer abandon myself to be accepted by others. Your silence will challenge people. It will expose their need for access, their dependence on your availability. But that's not your burden to carry. You weren't born to be consumed. You were born to create, to lead, to rise. And that rising requires a level of solitude that most people run from. But not you. You are learning to lean into it, to embrace the stillness, to trust the process. You're not missing out. You're aligning deeper. You're not falling behind. You're breaking free. And while the world keeps spinning in chaos, you're building a foundation that cannot be shaken. One thought, one boundary, one silent, powerful choice at a time. Stay the course. Stay grounded. Stay quiet. The most powerful moves are made without noise, and the most powerful people don't seek attention, they seek mastery. You are not here to impress. You are here to impact. Keep your eyes on your path. Let your silence speak volumes. When you stop chasing approval, something incredible happens. You begin to recognize your own worth. Not the version filtered through others' opinions, but the raw, unshakable truth that you are already enough. You stop needing the world to clap for your progress because you finally understand that applause isn't confirmation of growth, consistency is. The quiet, deliberate effort you pour into yourself every single day, even when no one notices, is what builds unbreakable confidence. And it's in that silence, when the world seems still and uninterested, that your transformation becomes unstoppable. You've spent too long trying to be seen, trying to be heard, trying to prove your value in spaces that were never designed to appreciate it. That ends now. You don't need to be seen to be valuable. You don't need to be understood to be powerful. Your worth doesn't rise and fall with recognition. It is steady. It is rooted. And the more you stay grounded in that truth, the less noise matters. Silence becomes your shield. Focus becomes your weapon. You begin to understand that your energy is sacred, and not everyone is entitled to it. Every conversation, every invitation, every distraction that you decline is not a rejection of others. It's a commitment to yourself. It takes courage to detach from the noise, to remove yourself from the expectations, and to walk your path with quiet conviction. But that courage rewires your brain. It teaches you that peace is more valuable than praise, that clarity is more important than popularity, that staying silent doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise enough to not waste energy where it won't grow. You no longer explain. You no longer perform. You no longer shrink yourself to fit spaces you've outgrown. And as you hold that line, you create room for expansion, for growth, for the kind of transformation that no applause could ever match. The truth is, people will notice your silence more than your words. They'll feel your absence more than they ever valued your presence. And that's okay. You're not here to be everywhere. You're not here to carry everyone. You're here to become someone so grounded, so focused, so resilient that nothing can pull you off course. Let the silence work. Let it speak for you. Let it protect you from the noise that once distracted you from your purpose. You are not invisible. You are reserved. You are not withdrawn. You are becoming intentional. And that shift is powerful. You don't need to announce it. You just need to live it. Every boundary you set is a message to the world that your time, your peace, and your purpose are no longer negotiable. You are choosing yourself not once, not occasionally, but repeatedly, without apology, without hesitation, and in doing so, you're creating a life of depth, direction, and dominance. Keep building, keep growing, keep rising. Your silence isn't empty, it's full of power. Silence is not the absence of strength. It is the evidence of control. When you no longer feel the need to defend yourself, prove your worth, or compete for attention, you've stepped into a higher level of self-mastery. That's not passive. That's power. Real power is quiet. It moves without needing to be noticed. It chooses discipline over noise, patience over pride, and purpose over performance. And the more you operate from that space, the more magnetic you become. Not because you chase validation, but because you've detached from needing it at all. You start to move differently when your validation comes from within. You stop reacting to small things. You stop participating in pointless conversations. You stop seeking connection just to feel whole. You begin to understand that not every battle deserves your attention, not every comment deserves your energy, and not every invitation deserves your presence. That clarity is priceless. It saves you from draining your spirit just to make others comfortable. It protects your energy like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Your focus, your peace, your time, they are not infinite. You only get so much of each, and how you protect them determines the life you build. Most people are exhausted, not because they're doing too much, but because they're saying yes to the wrong things. Their minds are cluttered with other people's opinions. Their hearts are weighed down by unspoken expectations. Their calendars are filled with obligations that bring no joy, no growth, no purpose. But when you choose silence, when you reclaim your right to be selective, everything changes. You begin to hear yourself clearly again. You recognize what feels right, what feels forced, and what no longer fits. You stop living by default and start living by design. You no longer chase closure from people who don't value honesty. You no longer force conversations that only bring confusion. You no longer over-explain yourself just to feel understood. Because when you are aligned with your truth, you stop needing permission to protect it. That's when life starts to feel lighter. That's when your vision sharpens. That's when your confidence grows, not from being seen, but from finally seeing yourself. You recognize the power of stillness, you embrace the discipline of focus, and you let your actions speak so loudly that you never need to raise your voice. This is what growth feels like. Quiet, steady, liberating. You stop being addicted to the noise because you found something stronger, self-respect. You stop being triggered by opinions because you've built emotional maturity. You stop reacting to pressure because you've anchored your peace in something internal, not external. Keep that energy, let it guide you, let it protect you, let it rebuild you into someone who no longer needs to be loud to be heard, seen, or respected. Stay silent, stay focused, stay rooted. Your transformation is speaking volumes without saying a word. You become dangerous the moment you no longer need attention to feel worthy. When your self-worth no longer depends on being liked, praised, or seen, you step into a level of personal freedom that few ever reach. Because most people are still trapped in a cycle of seeking approval, measuring their value through others' eyes, adjusting their behavior just to fit in. But you've seen the truth. You've felt the emptiness that follows every performance. You've watched the energy drain from your soul when you try to keep everyone else happy. That's why your silence is no longer just a pause. It's a decision. A deliberate, powerful choice to protect your growth, your boundaries, and your peace. Staying silent doesn't mean you're absent. It means you've prioritized depth over display. You don't need to broadcast your every move, because you're too focused on building something real. Your goals are no longer public entertainment. They're private commitments. Every time you resist the urge to explain yourself, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you walk away from unnecessary drama, you build your inner fortress. You understand now that not everything requires your voice. Sometimes your silence is the loudest message you'll ever send, and the ones who get it don't need an explanation. The ones who don't were never listening anyway. You're not cold, you're clear, you're not distant, you're intentional, you're not passive, you're powerful. That shift, when you stop reacting and start observing, changes everything. You stop giving your energy away recklessly. You stop wasting your breath on arguments that lead nowhere. You stop justifying your values to people committed to misunderstanding you. Because clarity breeds confidence, and confidence doesn't shout, it just is. It radiates from how you carry yourself, how you move, how you choose your battles. And that quiet confidence speaks louder than words ever could. You no longer chase closure because your peace doesn't depend on their apology. You no longer seek validation because your worth isn't up for debate. You no longer prove your strength because your silence already proves it daily. Every moment you choose to rise above the noise, you take your power back. Every time you protect your time, your energy, your mind, you tell the world exactly who you are, without saying a single thing. That's the kind of presence that can't be ignored. That's the kind of mindset that leads to transformation. Focus is your new language. Discipline is your new standard. Silence is your new strength. And in that space, where you've let go of distractions, applause, and ego, you become unstoppable. Not because you're louder than everyone else, but because you've mastered what truly matters. Your journey is not for public approval, it's for private elevation. Stay silent. Stay focused. Stay committed. You don't owe the world noise. You owe yourself peace. True strength isn't in the noise you make, but in the peace you cultivate within. The moment you stop needing validation from others, you realize how much energy you've been wasting on things that don't serve your highest purpose. You start to understand that the world doesn't need your every thought, your every move. It doesn't need you to explain yourself, to seek permission, or to apologize for being who you are. You are enough. You always have been. The only approval you need is your own. This shift in perspective isn't easy, but it is necessary. It's the difference between living for external validation and living for internal fulfillment. You stop living under the weight of society's expectations. You stop trying to fit into molds that were never designed for you. You stop worrying about who's watching, who's judging, and who's talking, because you know that their opinions don't define you. They never did, and they never will. When you focus on yourself, when you put your energy into your growth, your dreams, and your goals, you create a life that's completely your own. You no longer seek distractions or try to appease others. You no longer spend time on things that don't align with your mission. Your energy is precious, and you're finally taking ownership of it. You know that real power comes from within, not from the approval or acknowledgement of others. The more you guard your energy, the more powerful you become. You become an unstoppable force, focused, unwavering, and clear in your intentions. And this is what most people don't understand. Silence isn't emptiness. It's clarity. It's purpose. It's an unwavering commitment to your own growth and happiness. When you choose silence, you're not hiding from the world. You're standing firm in your truth, saying, I don't need to prove anything to anyone. You're declaring that your peace is non-negotiable. Your worth doesn't require an audience. Your journey doesn't need applause. The only thing that matters is what you do in those quiet moments, when no one is watching, when no one is telling you what to do, what to think, or who to be. The more you embrace silence, the more you discover your own power. You start to realize how much energy you've been wasting on things that don't align with your goals. You start to protect your peace with the same intensity that you protect your dreams. You stop letting distractions pull you off course, and you start focusing solely on what matters most. You. When you focus on yourself, when you finally silence the noise around you, you free yourself to become the person you were always meant to be. You step into your purpose with clarity, confidence, and strength. You stop seeking approval and start demanding respect, not from others, but from yourself. This is your life, your journey, your success. And it starts with choosing to silence the distractions and focus on what's truly important. When you embrace your own power, you stop waiting for permission. You stop allowing others to shape your path or dictate your worth. You stand firm in your own value, and no one can take that away from you. It doesn't matter how loud the world gets or how many opinions are thrown your way. You are grounded in your own truth. And with that comes peace, a peace that no one can disturb because it comes from within you. This peace isn't a passive state. It's an active choice, one you make every day. It's choosing not to engage in the distractions that pull you away from your purpose. It's choosing not to argue, not to defend yourself, not to explain yourself to people who aren't invested in your growth. It's choosing to silence the noise that tries to drown out your inner voice. You are the author of your story, and no one can write your narrative except you. When you stop giving your energy to things that don't serve you, you create space for what really matters. You stop using your mental and emotional energy to please others, to justify your actions, or to seek their approval. Instead, you put all of that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. You focus on your goals, your passions, your growth. You invest in your own development because you understand that your future is too important to waste on empty conversations and distractions. Every time you choose silence, you reinforce your boundaries. You say, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of focus. And with that, you become more powerful. The more you choose to stay silent in the face of negativity, the more you empower yourself. The more you stay focused on your own journey, the more unstoppable you become. You stop allowing others to sway you, to divert your attention, or to make you second-guess yourself. You trust yourself fully, and that trust becomes your shield. The true power of focusing on yourself comes in the quiet moments. It's in those moments when no one is looking, when the world is still, that you make your most significant progress. It's when you take time for yourself, reflect on your goals, and take deliberate action to achieve them. You don't need the world to see every step you take. You don't need validation from anyone except yourself. Your success doesn't depend on their approval. It depends on your commitment, your focus, and your unwavering belief in your own potential. You are not defined by the opinions of others. You are not limited by their expectations. Your path is your own, and only you know where it leads. When you focus on yourself, when you silence the distractions and the noise around you, you begin to understand this truth on a deeper level. You realize that all the power you need has been inside you all along. And once you tap into that power, there's nothing that can stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. The world becomes a reflection of the inner peace you've created, and that peace will carry you farther than any external validation ever could. You are in control of your own narrative, and that is the most liberating realization you can have. The moment you stop looking outward for answers is the moment you tap into your true potential. The validation you've been seeking from others, it's all within you. You don't need permission, approval, or confirmation. All you need is the courage to trust yourself. Trust in your instincts, in your wisdom, in your capacity to handle whatever comes your way. You are stronger than you think, and you have everything within you to rise above the challenges life presents. But this requires a shift. A decision to stop being distracted by the opinions of those who do not understand your journey. When you stop seeking outside validation, you open up space for growth that no external force can influence. Your value is not determined by how others see you, but by how you see yourself. If you seek peace, focus on yourself. If you crave success, focus on yourself. If you desire transformation, focus on yourself. The energy you put into other people's perceptions or opinions is energy that could be spent creating your own reality. When you decide to focus solely on your path, you free yourself from the constant noise that drains you and prevents you from moving forward. This path requires self-discipline. It requires the courage to remain silent in a world that encourages loudness. It requires the strength to keep walking forward, even when others around you question your every step. But when you walk in silence, when you hold your ground and refuse to be swayed, you demonstrate an inner strength that is unmatched. People will notice the quiet confidence you carry. They'll wonder how you maintain your focus, how you rise above the noise, and how you continue to progress despite the chaos. The secret? It's because you're no longer giving power to what doesn't matter. By staying silent, you learn to listen to your inner voice, the only voice that matters. It is the voice that knows what you truly want, what you are truly capable of. The distractions of the outside world are just that, distractions. They are temporary, fleeting, and ultimately irrelevant to your purpose. Your purpose is something that comes from deep within, and only by focusing on yourself can you fully realize it. When you put your energy into your own growth, you begin to see the possibilities that were always there, but you were too distracted to notice. The strength that lies within you is boundless, but it can only be unleashed when you stop seeking approval, when you stop looking for external signs of success, and when you focus purely on your journey. Every step you take forward in silence brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. There's power in the stillness, power in the quiet moments where you choose yourself over the noise. This is your time to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of yourself. No one can take that away from you, as long as you stay true to your purpose and keep your focus where it belongs, on yourself. In the silence, you find your strength. In the silence, you create your future. And in that silence, you are unstoppable. When you focus on yourself, the world around you begins to shift. The distractions that once held your attention begin to lose their grip. No longer do you waste energy on things that don't align with your vision. The noise fades, and what remains is your power, the power to create the life you've always desired. But this power requires discipline. It requires you to remain steadfast in your commitment to yourself. Every time you choose your own path over the distractions of the outside world, you take another step toward your true self. And that self is not defined by the opinions of others or by fleeting moments of external validation. That self is born from your deep inner knowing, your unique journey, and your unwavering commitment to growth. The truth is, when you start focusing on yourself, you stop being bound by the limitations others impose. You are no longer a product of their judgments, their expectations, or their perceptions. You become the creator of your own narrative. This is freedom. True freedom comes when you stop allowing others to dictate who you are and what you can achieve. Their opinions, their fears, their doubts, they hold no weight in the reality you are creating. You are the architect of your own success, and it begins when you silence the noise and focus on what truly matters: your own progress, your own purpose, your own path. The temptation to seek approval, to seek validation from others, is natural. We are social creatures and we crave connection. But the kind of connection you need to build is one that strengthens your relationship with yourself. It is in this relationship that you find the courage to take bold steps, to embrace challenges, and to rise above any obstacle. You don't need external validation because you already possess everything you need within. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience to shape your own destiny. But you have to believe in that power. You have to trust that your inner voice knows what's best for you. It's easy to get caught up in the opinions of others, to seek reassurance from the people around you. But when you choose to listen to their voices over your own, you give away your power. You relinquish control over your life. The key to reclaiming that power lies in silence, in staying quiet while you build your own foundation. It's in the stillness that you can hear your own thoughts, connect with your own truth, and move forward with purpose. And it's in that movement that you find your strength. The process isn't always easy. It's uncomfortable at times. You may feel unsure, uncertain, or even lonely as you begin to trust yourself more than ever before. But remember, every great transformation requires a period of discomfort. Growth does not happen without it. The discomfort is a sign that you are evolving, that you are stepping into a higher version of yourself. And with each step you take, the silence becomes more powerful, the connection with yourself becomes deeper, and the life you are creating becomes more fulfilling. So embrace the silence. It is in this silence that you will find clarity, strength, and the courage to continue moving forward. Your journey is yours alone, and only you have the power to shape it. Keep walking, keep growing, and keep trusting that focusing on yourself is the key to unlocking your limitless potential. When you start to embrace your own journey, you realize the most important thing you can do is to trust yourself. Self-doubt, though it may try to creep in, has no place in your growth. It's not a weakness to believe in your own abilities. It's a necessity. Trusting yourself means understanding that every decision you make, no matter how small, is a step toward the future you deserve. It's the courage to act, even when the path isn't clear. Knowing that with every step you take, the path will reveal itself. Every moment spent questioning your worth, your potential, is a moment you waste. You must learn to silence that internal critic and replace it with unwavering belief in your power to succeed. This is where real transformation begins. The world will test you. It will challenge you. There will be moments that push you to the edge, moments where giving up might feel easier. But it's in those moments that your true strength is revealed. When you push through adversity, when you refuse to accept defeat, you strengthen your resolve. Each challenge faced becomes a reminder that you are capable of handling anything that comes your way. The key is to stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start viewing them as opportunities for growth. They are not there to break you. They are there to build you, to shape you into the person you are meant to become. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your journey to others. You look around and wonder why others seem to have it easier or why their success seems to come faster. But comparison is a silent killer of potential. When you focus on what others are doing, you lose sight of what you are capable of achieving. Your journey is uniquely yours. No one else has the exact same experiences, the exact same strengths, or the same potential. Your path may not look like someone else's, but it is no less important, no less valid. The only competition you have is with the version of yourself you were yesterday. Keep your focus inward. Your personal growth and success are the only things that matter. The more you focus on building your inner strength, the more you begin to realize that your circumstances do not define you. Where you are today does not determine where you can go tomorrow. Your past does not dictate your future. You have the power to create the life you desire, starting right now. The decisions you make today are the seeds for tomorrow's reality. Every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the life you are building. So choose wisely, choose boldly, and choose with conviction. Let go of the fear that holds you back. Let go of the beliefs that limit your potential. Step into the unknown with confidence, knowing that you are fully capable of navigating any challenge that comes your way. The world is full of opportunities, but they won't come to you. You must go after them with everything you have. Your success is not a matter of luck. It is a result of your dedication, your belief in yourself, and your willingness to push through every obstacle no matter how tough it may seem. The power to create your future is in your hands. And the first step is trusting yourself completely. When you do, there is nothing that can stop you. The life you desire is already waiting for you. All that's left to do is take the first step. The moment you begin to truly understand your own worth, you realize that no one else can define you. You are the author of your story, the creator of your reality. This power lies within you, waiting to be unlocked, but it requires you to trust in the process, to have faith in the journey, even when you cannot see the destination clearly. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for the right moment, the perfect time, the perfect circumstances. But the truth is, the right moment is always now. The perfect time is always today. You are not waiting for anything, you are already in motion. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. And each step forward, even in uncertainty, is a victory in itself. The world will try to make you doubt your worth. It will try to convince you that you are not enough, that you're not capable, that you are not deserving of greatness. But remember this, what the world says about you doesn't matter. What matters is what you believe about yourself. Your belief is the foundation of everything. When you believe in your power, you align yourself with opportunities that would have otherwise remained hidden. The world shifts when you decide to show up for yourself unapologetically with confidence in your own abilities. You will face moments of doubt, moments where it seems like nothing is going according to plan. The road will be rough and the journey long. But these are the moments that shape you. They are not setbacks, they are the stepping stones that lead you to your true potential. Every struggle is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger. Don't let the fear of difficulty stop you from moving forward. The harder the fight, the sweeter the victory. And with every battle you win, you are building the mental and emotional resilience needed to conquer even greater challenges ahead. You are capable of achieving things that you once thought impossible. Your dreams are not too big, and your goals are not too far out of reach. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is your belief in your own abilities. When you believe, you unlock an unstoppable force within you, one that moves mountains, shatters barriers, and turns obstacles into mere stepping stones. The power to create the life you want has always been inside you. Every choice you make, every action you take builds the future that awaits you. Don't wait for the world to give you permission to succeed. Don't wait for external validation. The only approval you need is your own. You are worthy of the success you desire. You are capable of achieving your wildest dreams. And you must never allow the limitations of others or the doubts in your own mind to hold you back. Embrace the discomfort. Embrace the challenges. It's all part of the process. You are growing, evolving, becoming. Every day you show up for yourself is a victory. Keep moving forward and know that the life you desire is already on its way to you. The only thing left to do is keep believing and keep acting, because the world is waiting for you to step into your full potential. You hold within you everything you need to succeed. The doubts, the fears, the moments of hesitation, they are simply distractions from the greatness that lies dormant within. Every fear you face, every challenge you confront, is simply an invitation for you to rise higher, to discover more about who you truly are. Your strength is not measured by how easily you move through life, but by how you rise when life pushes you down. It's the struggle that shapes you, that molds you into the powerful force you are becoming. Every obstacle, every setback is part of your story. It is part of your evolution, a necessary part of the path that leads to greatness. You are not meant to be perfect. You are meant to be resilient. There will always be people who try to dim your light, who try to make you feel small, who tell you that you cannot reach your dreams. But let me remind you, the opinions of others do not define you. What defines you is your ability to stand strong, even in the face of adversity. Your true power is in your ability to rise above the negativity, to refuse to let anyone or anything take away your belief in yourself. When you believe in your own worth, in your own abilities, you become unstoppable. No one can tell you what you are capable of unless you let them. The world may try to limit you, but you are not bound by its limitations. Look at your life and ask yourself, what have you been waiting for? The truth is, there is no better time than right now to take the first step towards your dreams. There is no perfect moment, no ideal set of circumstances. The only thing standing in your way is the decision to start. You don't need all the answers today. You don't need to know exactly how you will get there. You just need to take that first step. Because once you take the first step, the second becomes easier and the third even easier. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. Keep moving, keep pushing forward, because every step you take brings you closer to the life you deserve. Do not let fear control you. Fear is not a sign that you cannot succeed. It is a sign that you are on the edge of something great. It is simply your mind telling you that you are about to break through to the next level of your potential. Every time you face fear, you build the courage to face it again. And with each victory, your confidence grows. The more you conquer, the more you realize that nothing is impossible. You are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to, and the only thing that can stop you is your own doubt. Let go of the fear of failure and replace it with the certainty that you are worthy of success. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by the mistakes you have made or the failures you have experienced. Your past is simply a lesson, a stepping stone that led you to this very moment. The only thing that matters is what you choose to do right now. Your future is not determined by where you have been, but by the choices you make today. So choose to rise, choose to believe, and choose to become the person you were always meant to be. You have everything within you to make your dreams a reality. The only thing left is to step forward and claim it.